Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala. How do you feel about that?
Personally, I think she should keep her nose out of politics because she's a billionaire.
It would be wonderful if rich people stayed out of politics, wouldn't it?
100%.
I just think so many people idolize her. And I just think it's nobody's business who you're voting. You know what I mean? It's nobody's business who you're voting for.
I feel like sometimes it's like a paid thing. It's like to get numbers.
You think she's getting some of that Soros money?
I honestly believe it 100%. I think it's a great sign for Trump. He can Kamala can keep the cat ladies.
Save the cats, but not the cat ladies, right?
That's right.
You still like her music?
No, I'd like to see why she supports Kamala. Or whatever her name is.
Camel toe.
What gets you so excited about like the work Elon Musk is doing?
I mean, he's doing what the people voted for. And if there's a problem, we take the democratic way, right? And you can protest, you can have a problem with it. You can bring it to the limelight.
What is the democratic way to reel in Elon Musk when he is an unelected appointed official?
No,
he's actually elected. He was on the ballot.
The American people.
Elon Musk was not elected.
No. From a democratic perspective, he was not elected. The American people voted for that.
They voted for Donald Trump.
That's your opinion.
There are constitutional processes for getting rid of that funding. Congress has power of the purse. Congress passes the budget. The president signs it. That's our constitutional process for determining where our money goes.
Well, who dictates the constitutional process? Is it
the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution. And with a Republican control in Congress, you could pass a budget making these cuts and go through it constitutionally.
Yeah, but that's been the way of the United States for how long, and it's not been working out very well.
So sidestepping the Constitution is fine when we need to speed up the process?
The deep state is extremely smart. This is a very, very long process that's been going on. It's being exposed. You have to come out with a cannonball in order to eradicate this. That's what Doge is doing.
But that cannonball is the consolidation of so much power in one individual.
He was on the ballot.
The American people.
What policies in particular are you most excited to see?
Yeah, I'm ready to see the Get Back, Stay in Mexico policy. You know, get the illegal immigrants out of here.
Immigration. Well, obviously, we want to see the border closed. I'm looking forward to the mass deportation. Yeah, the border. I like the border policy.
I think we need to close the borders immediately.
Have you had personal experience with the immigration issues there?
No, not really, but we hear about it all the time.
Not particularly.
I haven't seen it personally, but I know it's active.
No, not necessarily.
How's it affected your community?
I mean, they're getting a lot of aid. They're getting a lot of aid.
We're pretty protected from most of that. We mostly have to worry about the meth labs and stuff.
So, not necessarily in our community.
Happy Labor Day, folks. Cheers to all you hard-working Americans out there. Yes, even the ones pulling double shifts, running on 3 hours of sleep, and still being told by MAGA that you just need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, as if the boots haven't already worn holes through the soles. Now, if you're new here, welcome. This is Breaking Bread, and this is how we start things. I show you the MAGA mindset that got us into the mess we're in, and together we walk it all the way to the bank. Or the breakdown. And for those of you who've been around, thanks for sticking around and leaving all your unfiltered, spicy, beautifully unhinged comments. I see you. Now to the matter at hand. By now, you've probably heard Trump is missing. Poof, gone. And MAGA? Oh, they are absolutely spiraling. We're talking peak booty-clenching energy. Because, their cult leader has been acting weird, talking about wanting to make it to heaven. And some people couldn't believe he mispronounced hell like that. Then, J.D. Vance came out and said he'd be willing to step in case of anything bad. So, it's a bit suspicious. Charlie Kirk, the guy who thinks he's the second coming of Socrates, is out here posting fake updates about Trump being fine. Sir, Trump is not fine. This is a man addicted to cameras, a man who showed up in front of the media even after being banned from Facebook, Twitter, and probably the PTA. If he's gone quiet, it's not by choice. Meanwhile, MAGA supporters are out here lighting prayer candles, posting dramatic TikToks, and whispering QAnon riddles into the void. It's a whole mess. Anyway, we've got some clips to break down. And trust me, it gets juicier. Let's roll them.
They no longer need Trump. They used him because they knew he has a cooler personality. They knew that his cult would follow him and would rally up his base. And all of the talking head cultists will rally up the base. They knew that his like 6th grade level vocabulary would rally up his base, that his hateful rhetoric would rally up his base. They knew that once they got him in office, they would be able to install all of their people, but they no longer need him, just like he no longer needs the MAGA cult. He got what he wants. He's going to continue enriching himself and his family until the day he dies. But those around him, the Project 2025 orchestrators, or I should say people behind him, the Project 2025 orchestrators, Peter Thiel, JD Vance, all of these guys, they got what they wanted, and they're actually going to be the ones who will continue getting what they want and what they need. They don't need him anymore. And once you realize that they don't need him anymore, you'll understand why this is all happening.
So now Charlie Kirk is trying to convince us that the photo that Trump posted today with John Gruden is from today. He said, quote, "It's been sick watching members of the press being so diddy," rough typo there, at the prospect of Trump being ill that they ran with fake rumors. These are bad people. Instead, he's playing golf with Super Bowl champion John Gruden. But as previously discussed, this photo is not from today. Again, Trump posted this today, but this was not a photo taken today. Or at least it is very, 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 very unlikely. Why do we know this? Because John Gruden posted this in the same outfit, in the same hat, at the same location on August 23rd. But for sure, it was not taken today. And the fact now that Charlie Kirk, someone who gets direct communication from the White House, direct talking points, is now saying, oh, no, guys, listen to me. They actually took this today. He's playing golf with Gruden. No, he's not. Why are they trying to gaslight us? Why is Charlie Kirk out here lying to us about where Donald Trump is? I'm sorry, this story just gets weirder and weirder by the hour.
MAGA, where are you? Where are you at? Trump might be gone. Where is he? Where did he go? For people who threw a fit because Biden fell off of a bike and Obama wore a tan suit, y'all are really quiet on this one. The vice president is literally saying he's ready to step up. And you know that they will do anything to save face for Trump. So saying that he's ready to step up, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Has he been tweeting? If he hasn't been tweeting, you know damn well he's dead. The fact that Trump hasn't golfed, the dude will do anything to go golfing for one day. Hasn't gone. The dude will do anything to be in the media for 1 second. Nothing. I'm not gonna say it, but what are we drinking? What are we wearing?
Cankles McTaco Tits, the convicted felon president of the United States, health is in rapid decline. There is a massive cover-up going on at the White House regarding this, but the right wing is starting to figure it out. And Alex Jones, the conspiracy theorist, absolute abject piece of shit, is starting to get to the bottom of it. Kylie, pop up this headline. We have a crisis. Alex Jones warns that Trump is headed for health collapse, a health collapse. Kylie, now play the clip.
Because you can see him declining faster and faster. It's not super bad yet. But unlike Biden, that was completely shot and had all these brain surgeries and the rest of it, Trump has got great genetics. He's tough. And if he takes care of himself, he can make it through these years and then after. But if he doesn't, he's going to have, I predict Trump is going to have some type of collapse within the next 12 months at the current trajectory. I'm not saying he's going to.
All right. Deep.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump does not have any scheduled public plans for Labor Day. A lot of you have asked, well, where is the President of the United States? Is he doing anything for Labor Day to support the American worker? No public plans on the White House schedule.
We got some breaking news. As you all know, there has been speculation circling around Donald Trump's health, and we have now more confirmation than ever that there is something seriously wrong with the president. As you can see here, this photo just got released where Donald Trump looks terrible. Now, what's interesting about this, the fact that Donald Trump is making these public appearances where he looks like his body is literally decaying, is that Donald Trump has a symptom, a disease of can't shut the fuck up. But this man right here has not talked to the press in more than a week. And Donald Trump not talking to the press is the clearest sign to me that there is something up. Now, he's actually addressed the rumors too, and he's posting photos pretending like they're today. And we have found the original photos that show that his proof of life evidence that he's trying to provide is not from today.
Do I think that he took the elevator down? Not yet. Also, do I think that his two swollen ankles look like two water balloons? Absolutely, okay? Now, it's something that they still not telling us, y'all. It's still troubles in the water. Because since when has he not died, fried, laid out that thinned out toupee to the side to address us? Anyways, why is your toupee so thinned out? But that's not the question that I want to ask here. The question that I'm asking is he still amongst the living? Pictures that they posted trying to make it look like he's still with us. Listen, I was born at night, but not last night, okay? You ain't fooling nobody. I really want us to believe that he took those thick-ass ankles out there golfing. His ankles are so swollen, they look like two blowfishes. Ankles out there looking like Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob, and y'all want us to believe that he was standing on those thick-ass ankles out there swinging a golf club? Stop playing with us right now, okay? Do we look like a playground to you? Absolutely not, okay? He needs to address the public because the people need the right to know, do we need to throw something on the grill?
Here's how I know the president has had a stroke and the White House is lying about it. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience in home health care with geriatric patients. I mentioned that specifically for the chiropractors in my comments who think they know anything about medicine. Back in July, the White House released a medical report on President Trump that included 3 new medications: rosuvastatin, ezetimibe, and a daily regimen of aspirin. If they're attempting to treat high cholesterol, rosuvastatin will do that all by itself. You would only add ezetimibe as a second-line defense for someone who is in even higher risk for a cardiovascular or cerebrovascular event, such as a previous heart attack or stroke. Older physicians who are not quite as up on the literature may prescribe daily aspirin as preventative for stroke and heart attack, but it's been a while since it was actually recommended that way, as the literature has told us more. Now, daily aspirin is used as a preventative for someone who's already had stroke and heart attack as a blood thinner. In summary, Trump has had a stroke or maybe even a heart attack in the past, and they are publicly reporting the medication regimen that prevents another one from happening. Normally, they would just lie about things like the chronic venous insufficiency bullshit. His physical back in April would have caught that. It's a lie. While J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller are fully prepared to take over once Trump is out of the way for health reasons, possibly by invoking the 25th Amendment, they don't want Trump out of the way before the midterms of 2026. They will hustle as quick as they can to finish their consolidation of federal power over all 50 states in the union. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
No, I don't think he's dead yet. Yet being the operative word. But if you take into account his age, his bloating like the Michelin Man, his diet, his vein issues, I would say that he is not at all a strong candidate for dialysis. I think that his kidneys are failing at a rapid rate, and they are likely spending this weekend scrambling for some sort of medical procedure that could be life-saving. Now, he's mentioned twice at this point about wanting to go to heaven, and as we all know, heaven has gates. Take that how you want to. Now, J.D. Vance has said not once, not twice, but 3 times now in different interviews that he is ready to assume the position if needed, and that he's had 200 days of job training, essentially, in order to do so. Now, interestingly enough, Trump was the one who had the meeting with Putin, 2 weeks ago? But now J.D. Vance is the one to speak on it. He has taken vacation after vacation after vacation. Labor Day weekend, he's suddenly not taking a vacation. The photos and video of Trump are not only from 2019, but 2023 and 2024. They are not recent. His posts on those platforms he likes to use suddenly have punctuation, detail, and they're clear and they're easy to understand at this point, and that's not how he writes. Now, he does like to be cryptic in his messages, but these just make a little too straightforward common sense and clarity for him. At this point, I want proof of life. Now, supposedly, he does have an event scheduled or a public appearance scheduled for Tuesday, and my gut feeling is that's going to be canceled for some sort of reason. Now, on, August 29th, he was supposed to be making some announcement at, 9 or 10 o'clock, and I don't remember if it was Eastern or Central Standard Time, but then it never happened. So my theory is that he's currently in the hospital. The same hospital that Melania was seen visiting. Now, they did come out with a rumor saying she was visiting someone in labor and delivery. Seems unlike her. It would also seem unlike her to be visiting her husband in the hospital, which he's been in before. Unless it was a more serious matter. Who knows? So maybe as of Tuesday, we'll have more clarity. But unlike the Pope, unlike Kate Middleton, upon his passing to Heaven's Gate, where he apparently has made a reservation, or at least attempted to, I think we would know pretty rapidly. Now, you might wonder, oh good, we're trading one evil for another. But keep in mind, Vance does not have the cult following that Trump does. Now, here's another theory of mine, and whip out your tinfoil hat for this one. I think they needed someone to put everything in motion, to get us conditioned to everything that's going on. Now that we're conditioned, that we're just expected to have things not suck as badly as we potentially see them being, or as we know them possibly being. I still think that he was the fall guy. I still think that he was in place to sign certain papers, and if you know what those papers are, congratulations, you're more awake than the rest of us, or them. But no, I don't think he's dead yet, but I think it's anytime now.
If everything is okay, why is the White House lying to us? Let me clarify. I mean, it's the White House, the current White House. They're going to lie to us. But why are they lying to us about Trump? Why are they putting out pictures that were old, easily debunked? Why is Trump himself supposedly putting out pictures of him and Gruden golfing that happened last month? So, why lie? Are you guys going to accept that something is happening? And I did a video a few days ago about how all of the transition of power meetings are happening. All right? They are scrambling. Every branch of government right now is scrambling. And don't even get me started on those True Social posts. That is not, kidding me? Kidding me? Proper grammar and punctuation? Nah, get out of here. We all know he didn't type that shit out. Come on.
I don't know if y'all heard this yet or not, but supposedly Dookie Booty ain't been seen since Tuesday. Yeah. Supposedly he ain't been seen since Tuesday. Or the 27th. He ain't been seen since the 27th. And he ain't got no public events scheduled for this weekend. So a lot of people are speculating that Dookie Booty might be somewhere ice cold frozen. Possibility, just a possibility. But then you have to take into consideration he has signed some executive orders since then, but that could have been done by auto pen. That wasn't a public appearance. Anybody could have signed those. So do with that information what you will. But all I'm saying is it's a possibility. And it's a little suspicious that ain't nobody seen him since the 27th. And now he ain't got no public events scheduled for this weekend. That don't sound like Dookie Booty at all. Dookie Booty want to be seen every day. There ain't a day that go by that Dookie Booty don't want to get out there in front of them cameras and talk his shit. So that's real suspicious that he ain't got no public events for the whole weekend. Yeah. If that time hasn't already come, that time is on its way. The way that they slowing down, yeah, he's slowing down. He's slowing down, y'all.
Morning, y'all. I have a conspiracy theory that is not good. And you know how most of my conspiracy theories end up right? This one's not good. We do not want this one to be right. Okay? We do not want this one to be right. But everyone's like, where the fuck is Donald? Where the fuck is Donald? Where is he? Where is he? He's dead. I'm like, he's not dead. He's in the war room. He's in the war room. That's why they released 2-year-old proof of life photos to TMZ yesterday. Yeah. He's in the war room. He was in the war room. Israel bombed Yemen last night. So if they go to war, we have to go to war. It's in our Constitution. If we go to war, there are no more elections. He was in the war room, people. He was in the war room for 4 days. In my opinion, I don't know, I'm not a public official, but I would think that if you were going to literally do your last coup on the United States of America, I'm guessing it would take 4 days to plan in a war room. I'm just thinking out loud here. This is all my opinion, TikTok. This is all a conspiracy theory that I do not want to have happen. Because if this happens, that's World War III. And it doesn't matter if it's World War III or if it's just a little skirmish between in the interior, between the DC citizens and the military who's there to protect them. Israel bombs Yemen all the time. Okay, this has been going on for years. That's why I'm just saying. If you need to manufacture a war, why not start with two countries who are always habitually bombing each other? Seems pretty easy. Because all the other wars he's tried to manufacture, none of them got a spark. None of them sparked and lit and took off. There were no sparks. Nobody picked them up on it. That's my thought. And I really, 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 really hope I'm wrong. Love y'all, bye.
Is Donald Trump dead? Anybody else starting to feel like that fat fuck may not be here with us no more?
Guys, Trump is dead.
He was not seen at all today. He also wasn't seen at all yesterday. Or the day before that, too. Please let it be true.
Bro, he may really be gone. Like, actually dead.
Guys, is it true? Is he gone?
A few moments later.
We have breaking news this morning. Donald Trump is going out and playing golf today. He is perfectly fine, according to a senior official.
So, you've seen the clips for yourself. At this point, everyone and their conspiracy-loving grandma has a theory about where Trump is and why he's suddenly missing in action. TikTok is overflowing with half-baked guesses, blurry screenshots, and audio breakdowns that sound like they were narrated by your cousin who just discovered Red Bull and paranoia. But here's the real kicker. If you scroll through the comment sections, MAGA is absolutely unraveling. And I mean full-blown meltdown. Take that guy you just saw screaming his lungs out over fake pictures. Yeah, the same one who threw a tantrum because Trump refused to release that secret list he once swore was the master plan. Man got so bent out of shape, he literally started hitting his head in public. No metaphor. Actual head, actual public. MAGA logic in motion. But I digress. Here's the thing. Beneath the chaos and TikTok comedy, there's something far more sinister brewing. And that's where we're headed next. Because what you're about to see, this next segment, it should concern every single one of us, no matter where you stand politically. Take a look.
So when it happens, you know, the headline we've all been waiting for, and it will be soon based on this weekend's antics, but when it happens, it was J.D. Vance who was behind it. He was making him sick on purpose, and here's my explanation as to why. So the only reason J.D. Vance is vice president at all is because nihilist tech billionaire Peter Thiel told Trump, hey, me and my Silicon Valley buddies will bankroll your campaign and get the social media platforms we control to push you, and all we ask in exchange is that you put our lackey, J.D. Vance, in the number 2 seat. 2, Peter Thiel is not a natural-born American citizen. He can never be president. So the closest he can get to the Oval Office is to put an easily controllable puppet with no original ideas of his own, like J.D. Vance, behind the resolute desk. 3, J.D. Vance has already taken out a head of state. He offed the last pope, shook the pope's hand, and 2 days later, we gotta find a new pope. And 4, J.D. Vance is well known for having sex with couches. That's not relevant here, but I just wanted to remind everyone that he fucks furniture. Anyway, whether you believe this conspiracy theory of mine or not, I think the important thing is that we could convince Trump to believe it and see if we can't get him to try to fire Vance and strip Thiel of his citizenship. Because you don't become a multi-billionaire like Thiel without a few skeletons in the closet. Anyway, when it happens...
We should be shaking in our boots, you guys! The Rockbridge Network is a conservative political advocacy group founded by J.D. Vance and Chris Burskick. Let's start with J.D. Vance first. He follows a movement that's called the Dark Enlightenment. Oh, this sounds like it's a sci-fi movie. The Dark Enlightenment has been described as part of the alt-right, as its theoretical branch, and as neo-fascist. The movement advocates for authoritarian capitalist city-states which compete for citizens. The movement also espouses scientific racism. University of Chichester professor Benjamin Noyes described it as an acceleration of capitalism to a fascist point. Let's go on to the actual Rockbridge Network. The group has been backed by Silicon Valley investors and become known for its connections to investors in tech industry as well as to the second Donald Trump administration. Our goal is to bring together investors who are dissatisfied with the status quo of politics and raise capital to fund projects that will disrupt but advance the Republican agenda. Now this gets even more troubling. One goal is to build a political coalition that will win in national elections with 55% of the popular vote. Another goal proposes to use strategic litigation to identify leverage points where the law allows them to hold bad actors, including the media, accountable. The Rockbridge Transition Project proposes to create a government in waiting with the people and the plans to staff the next Republican administration in order to govern effectively with conservative goals from day one. So I'm going to continue learning about this and sharing what I learn about this because this is beyond troubling.
I'm not sure if you all caught that, but let's rewind for just a second. That first lady in the earlier clip, the one who said they don't need Trump anymore? Yeah. That hit different. Like Trump was just a temporary tool, a stepping stone to something much darker. The real question becomes, did Trump even know this was the plan? Or was he just flattered to be included in the billionaire boys club, not realizing he was the disposable water boy for these tech bro sociopaths? And now, with everything that's happening behind the scenes, the AI silence in the big beautiful bill, the Medicaid dismantling, And this eerie billionaire orchestration. We're staring down the barrel of an America that's morphing into something we've never seen before. Sometimes I sit with all this and ask myself, would it really have been that different if the other side had won? I mean, don't get me wrong, Trump has been absolutely reckless. But let's talk facts. These tech elites have had this plan for a long time. It's not about left or right, it's about control. Take Rockbridge Network, for example. That's J.D. Vance's shadowy little project, funded by, you guessed it, Peter Thiel. They're building an entire infrastructure to install right-wing loyalists deep into the system. And the wildest part? Trump never questioned any of it. He let it happen. Maybe because he didn't understand it. Maybe because he owed Thiel. Or maybe, just maybe, he thought being quiet kept him in the room with the real power players. And honestly, it's confusing as hell. There are so many moving pieces. Billionaires pulling strings, AI regulations being delayed, Medicaid being gutted, billion-dollar networks like Rockbridge being set up to hijack the future. It's overwhelming. You try to focus on one thread, and another 5 unravel behind your back. You can't possibly pay attention to it all at once. No one can. I'll be real with you. I don't even know how to feel about what's coming next. I usually have something clever or sarcastic to say, but this one just sits heavy. All I can say is, this is where our hearts and minds need to be at. Not distracted, not tuned out. Because what's unfolding right now isn't just political drama. It's a full-on transformation. And it's coming faster than most of us can process. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I want to hear what you all are seeing, feeling, and thinking. Because maybe, just maybe, if we piece it together as a community, we'll stand a chance of understanding the whole picture. And if nothing else, at least we won't go through this blind.